So yesterday I was basically awake for like almost 24 hours straight because first we were at our grandparents' place and then I had to go and like like I'm a volunteering firefighter. So me and my dad were placed at the school to keep an eye on it while people are sleeping over there. So we keep an eye that if anything happens, we can evacuate people. So I don't have the energy to build today, and I have to be there again today, so I'll be having to leave soon. So we'll be building today because this is something I always have energy for. So, yay! Just because this one I might, and if I turn silent during this, I'm sorry, but like my default state when building is complete silence for hours while staring into the screen. I'll try not to. But first of all, I want to solve the fact that there is hollow in there. I think that's also adding to the lag because there's so much shadow it has to load in there. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna finish up the initial layer of the edge of the island, which is this stuff out here. I just cleaned up some water so I have an easier place to work with. I have to continue what I've done so far, which has been around the entire island, with this pattern through here. And I think I might actually, I have a marker here, but I know it's right over here, the next layer of it is, where I've done it. So I might actually do this part first, because this is up by the flat one, and then remove the houses there. Which I don't want to do, because I've gotten attached to these animals I don't even know. There is just random cows and random cats, which I have no attachment to. But at the same time I'm attached to them, because they're cute! So yeah. And then we might begin to break cherry blossoms and begin to try and rebuild them. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, jump around, be aware of getting through this, because I will be sitting very silent. Though I'll try and come up with stuff to talk about. Like, this is literally step by step. This isn't even like adding an extra per level. This is the bare minimum that I'll be adding sand on top of later. And then we'll add the water around it and we'll remove all air under a specific level and turn that into some kind of block that'll ensure that it isn't hollow and the game doesn't have to load light for it either. It doesn't even look that good right now, but that's because the graphics is set to the lowest they can, so the computer will run smoothly enough for me to build. Like, even streaming, this is slower than I'd usually build because I know, like, look, oh, there's like a few frames of lag. Like, a few frames is more than enough to, like, that there was most lag I've had while building on this thing because I usually don't stream while building it. But yeah, I will have far less than 2 hours to stream. I will be lucky if I have 1 hour to stream. Because then I have to go and get dressed, prepare some things so I can entertain myself while they're sitting on guard. We have to patrol the entirety of that school every hour. Which is fine enough at first, because then it takes like a good amount of time. It takes almost the entire time patrolling the first round before we already have to do the next one. But then as soon as it begins becoming, like, as soon as they begin to go to sleep around 11, we are not supposed to check the rooms anymore and check it that their emergency entrances are free, because otherwise we'd wake them up. Which kind of defeats the whole purpose of sleeping. Mom, I won't do both hours. Don't worry. I'll make sure to be ready by the time we need to leave. I know I'll be ready.
Så vi op til bedstefar. 8:30, der skal du være klar.
I know. Love you, Mom. I'm fretting about me getting there on time. I'm gonna bring some noodles today. Like we had food. Like we always, if it's such a long thing, they pay for food for us. I don't care. Like the bread type, I love it. It's the one that like basically is only in Denmark. Like for God's sake, other people get that bread type. It is like it's a very gruff, like a rough bread. It is not white bread at all. But it tastes kind of. Yeah, I know when I have to be ready. see me right now because then I can get it over.
Yes, I know.
Love you, Dad.
Love you.
Anyways, like the bread is very rough, but it tastes so good. Like it's kind of slightly sweet if you taste it. I usually wouldn't eat it just alone. Like you'd eat it with butter on top and then some kind of like food on top. Usually, maybe some type of fish if you want. Like there is of course like the ones that you would usually do, but to be honest, at this point I've just learned to expect like there is like 500,000 different things you could put on that food, and everybody has their own way of doing it. So usually you put butter on first, but there are some people who don't prefer butter. Then there's different amounts of butter people prefer and stuff. Like even within families, my family prefers to maybe put a bigger layer of like butter on it before they put the topping on, whatever the topping is that day. I prefer to do an extremely flat, like so there's barely any butter except for in the crevices of the bread, like where like all bread has some air bubbles and stuff. This isn't a very airy bread. This is very much, it very much stays the shape it is. But like that's the food we had today. But like the thing is, when they serve it and stuff at like when they sell it and anything, they like feel like they have to make it unique and it's like, it's for bread. Leave it the fuck alone. Let it be simple. It's not a gourmet art style. Why the fuck? Why is there fish egg on my eggs? And why is there rice? Not rice. That's that's the wrong word. I'm speaking about the brain. Why is there shrimp? And like mayonnaise makes sense in the eggs. But like, oh boy, a thin layer of butter, eggs. Okay, that's fine. That's also a normal thing to put on. Mayonnaise. Okay, yeah, that's also normal for if you do an egg one. Camembert. I think is camembert the one where it's the fish eggs? I think it's that one. And shrimp. Excuse me, what type of like this is not gourmet. I don't want this shit. I just want it simple so I can find something I like. And what's up with the mushrooms on this other one? There's like a few pieces of mushroom to Alex that tastes like. What, did you give them like half a second in the microwave? Like a bowl of water? I don't want to pay it for longer. That is. Like I won't eat them when they're not conditioned because they literally look like gummy. They look like gummies. I shall not eat them in that condition. I'd rather eat them raw. They look more appetizing raw. Whatever the hell they've done to them to make them look like that, I am disgusted. Like I think like they look like that when I'm making them for like half a second. Like you have to hit the worst second of cooking for them. It's like cook them more, cook them less, they'd still be better. Like why? But like it's like then there's like a layer of something else and something else and it's like just give me a normal one. It's the most simple gosh dang thing you can say. You take a piece of bread, you put butter on it, and you put one of the toppings on it. Like it's not that difficult. Like there's an entire there's like an entire area of like the local shop. Like it has an entire area of the shop dedicated. It's not really a local shop. It is technically from a chain, but still, it has an entire like area of one of the aisles dedicated for just toppings for that. And then if you look around in the other aisles, you might find something that also belongs there, but like maybe it's not supposed to be cooled. There's a lot of meat types that you would normally put on that. Although of course there's also other things you can eat, but meat seems to be the preferred one. Probably because this food is very traditional for Denmark. Not like, oh, it's such an old tradition food. No, it's just... Look, it's easy. It was easy back then too, so people would use it. It's easy, it doesn't taste bad. Except for when they decide to put 50 different things on one. What is this? Are you trying to be... Like, they're trying to make it look like a gourmet restaurant or something. It's like... I will not eat a lot of different food. I am very much, like, guarded in what I will eat. Like, it is very limited what I'll eat. So for me, seeing, like, 50 things in one of them, it's just like, no. Like, immediately begin looking for, like, okay, what's the bottom layer I like the most? And then just peel the rest off and give it to my dad. Because, well, he's willing to eat it. fish eggs. I don't know why we eat fish eggs. It's just like, it's, why? It's just a level of, why do we do this? Like, why? Like, legitimately, I know I'm saying why a lot of times, but like, that is the level of me not understanding for what reason somebody would do that. I just tried choosing something else than why, because I said why way too many times. Say why so many times it doesn't sound like a word anymore. It isn't that hard because now it's been sounding like a letter. Like we have to go around each time. Like the older ones are like pretty fast at cooperating. The younger ones, they are more of like what? Like is it the police or something? It's like no. We are 5 people. We are here to make sure that nothing can go dangerous. And it's like spending a majority of the time in that room where we were supposed to clear out the fire exit, trying to explain it to the small ones. Like, oh, don't worry. It's not because fire's gonna happen. It's in case it happens that you guys will come out safely and none of you will be hurt. And then one of the teenage girl groups having to explain to him like, okay, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Just have it cleared by then. We don't have time to wait for this. 5 minutes later, they just finished watching the stuff they're watching on the TV. It's like, we cleared fucking out. And even now, when they cleared it out, I am still unhappy with the amount of being cleared out. And the fact that there were no fire alarms there. It's like, yeah, but like there's direct exit from every room. That doesn't matter. I don't care if I have a direct exit from a room. I'll still get smoke poisoning because I was not aware that the house was on fire before I got to my room. Like if fire starts in one of the areas, the other areas will be alarmed before it gets to their areas because there's like I've seen 3 fire alarms there in the entirety, and they are at the near the kitchen and the physics room. Otherwise, I didn't see any. Which means my is like, it costs almost nothing to set. Like you can get some that is the correct type, like they're connected in like a series. You can get some that are connected. Like, you can connect like 10 of them together for almost nothing. You can get some. You don't even need to like worry about how to set them up. Just stick glue on them. You just need something that'll hold for the next couple of days. Or if it doesn't come, if it isn't there, by the time we go there to, like this evening, we have to evacuate everybody out of there because they're not allowed to sleep there. It's not even like we have the stuff to put out the fire. We have a basic first aid kit with us, which we didn't need to use yesterday. Less than I thought. I thought like maybe somebody would break something. No, just something they had to go get like sewn because it's sports kits. Like you know these kind of things are gonna happen. They're gonna get hurt in the most stupid way, like not playing the game, but in the stupidest way. It's just so like they're here to do like a little tournament between a lot of different schools, and now they're hurt. And now the person can't. It's like it's so sweet. Like they're still like the trainer just being like, oh, you can do the like when the ball goes out over the edge, and now they have to just shoot it in. There's no chance of them getting into any physical altercations during the sport. Then just so they still can participate. That is so sweet. I will not specify anything else. But like I don't remember. I think like that's just I don't remember anything else now. My brain is muddling around. I just remember like just the first room we came into. Their emergency exit. They would not have been able to get out if there was fire. Like oh yeah, let's put 4 tables. Like one table put the correct weight and another one put the like upside down on top of that, and then one doing the same thing right beside it, in front of the emergency exit. Like they have they have a fire escape from each room that they're sleeping in. It would be nice if they could get to it. Also because after we went our first round and got them to clear out the areas, we're going an hour. Like every hour we're going around. I was going around being like, that's not okay, get this stuff out of the way. And like, who just laid to sleep in front of that area? Get off. No. Clear that fire exit. Like, you're not getting to sleep before that fire exit is clear. Like, kind of being that annoying one, but also just like, this is being cleared, or you guys won't survive. Like, just entirely that day. If a fire had started, they would have been, like, poisoned by smoke. Like, me and my dad would probably have had to split up because there was no fire alarm. It's like literally, the best option would probably have been to take a lighter, go over to the physics room, like, over beside the physics room, and put the lighter under the fire alarm. Just being like, turn on, goes down it. Then it would have alarmed, like, some would have woken up to it. It's so fun, like, they were originally planning, the ones who were making it, to, like, for fun, try and, like, hey, we'll do a fire alarm thing. We caught wind of that and it's like, no, you're not. We don't have enough manning to do that. We are literally going to stand against you in every point for you to be allowed to do this again. Because, like, there is rules about how they can do this. And the area had to break multiple of those rules and bend them and stuff for them to be allowed to do this. So it's just like, if you pull the fire alarm to test if we can get you into safety, you are so fucking done. You are never getting to do this again. It's like, literally just like, you are never getting to do these tournaments again if you pull this trick. We do not have the people for it today. Like, I saw people yesterday that I've never seen before at the station, getting ready for it. Like, these are ones that are technically volunteers, but how much are they really? Like, they're never here. Because we didn't have enough people for it. The people who are never there, showing up because we need more people. I also failed when trying to use the radio. Why? Okay, if there's like an area where it's just like XXX in an example, and like it's words and stuff, like you would assume that's like a name. Like, okay, that's where you say a name. No. So it's like when we got back, I'm trying to pull it off as a joke because it's just like okay, going up to the one who's just responsible and just being like, who pulled this joke? Like, what? Why? It's like, I was literally, when it happened, I was emotionally distraught to the point where I was ready to cry. Because for me, it's just like, I just failed at the first time of actually using it. And this is connected to all the others. All the others can hear me right now. Except for the ones who've gone to sleep. Which we're not supposed to, but like, some of us doesn't have space in life to actually sleep through the entire day. I slept through the entire day today. I woke up at 6:10. We were replaced at 7 in the morning. Well, we were supposed to. It took a long time because we had to show the other ones around and tell them blah 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 blah. But apparently only we actually have a manual of what we're supposed to do. It seems like they've just found volunteers to take care of the day shifts. I guess that's fine because there's nobody there during the day shift, so just get your own ass out. And then maybe if somebody had to stay back sick, then get their ass out too, but like otherwise it's fine. But for God's sake. Like if I become there, after there's been somebody else's shift during the day hours. And one of the first things we do is call our superior being like, there's no fire alarms here. There's not a fire alarm in a single one of these rooms. Like we were walking around every room checking it. And when we look up, it's like, where the fuck is the fire alarm? Where the motherfucker is the fire alarm? Like we're not supposed to have to go around checking this. You were supposed to have checked this already. Like we would usually be the ones to check it. But that would put over on the people who were holding the event this year. It's just kind of like, were you aware that just because of a room has a direct exit to freedom does not mean it is exempt from having a fire alarm? Oh, you weren't? Well, you're aware now. Go find a way to get fire alarms. You can literally buy them at like one of the hardware stores nearby. And like this is the bigger city, so like one of the hardware stores nearby, like literally, it'll cost like it's not even like 1,000 Danish crown project, which would be a couple $100 US. Like it's not even like that. It's like maybe $20 US, and then you can like ensure the entire school has fire alarms. Like, I don't know, I don't remember the amount, but it's not even like 200 Danish crowns for 10 of them that is already connected to each other and would work great to ensure fire safety. Oh, would you look at that? You guys have just been neglectful towards it. Look at your fucking fire alarms. Like, if they're not there by the time we come today, we have to literally close down the entire thing. Bye bye. Which is sad. Because, like, there's lots of students that want to, like, do it there and stuff. Like, they want to. And apparently also, like, this might sound like a movie thing. But apparently, like, tonight wasn't that wild. Like, somebody got hurt slightly. We sent them along to, like, further along, blah, blah, blah. Not that much happening. Apparently, tonight, we're going to have to deal with a lot of young teenage boys that live in the area who've just realized that there's no girls here. And that's not even like, oh, this is what we think is going to happen. No. The other people who have done this before says, from experience, it's like, excuse me? Like, I did like one patrol outside tonight. My dad did a few more. But like, we did almost none of the outdoor patrols we were supposed to do because like, it doesn't matter. Like, checking if anybody is out there. Like, easy, I can just sign out from, I can just stand on the inside and use the flashlight. Easy. Apparently tonight, there is a legitimate chance that we are going to have to deal with, like, teenage boys trying to get to the teenage girl. Because, like, it's not even that surprising. Like, let's be honest, it's probably like them daring each other, like, oh, I dare you, I think you won't do this. It's like, probably a lot of dares, like, how creepy can you fucking be that we have to prepare for a small army of teenagers, not children, to be there? It's like, grow up. Stop being creeps. Because, like, we have, like, of course there's, like, kids down to, like, the age of, like, hello small kids that are barely out of kindergarten. But then there's also kids at the level of, like, in their, like, middle teens and stuff. Which means that's the age to begin dating at, and that apparently we have to now walk around the building and make sure there's, like, nobody who's being a creep. Which is just kind of like, why? Apparently we are going to be one of the ones who has the least, because the side it comes over from, there's multiple of the other schools in the way first. But I know there's also some people living behind there, in the form of like students and stuff, that would normally go to these schools, which is not the ones that are currently there, because the ones that are currently there are like sporting event. But it's kind of like, boys fly, which is just not. Like, I actually thought my dad was joking when he first said, like, it's just like, are you joking? Like that's the kind of thing you see in movies where, like come on, oh, it's real? Like, what the fuck? Like, please don't go around creeping. And it was, like, only, like, the oldest group are, like, allowed to go to the actual, like, adult group's party. Usually some of the youngest were also allowed that. But this year they've straightened it up more because, let's be honest, the young ones may not be allowed to buy alcohol, but they can get older ones to buy it for them, so they've been literally just cutting it off in an even younger group to be like, okay, you're not even going to that party, you're going to the kids one. Mel. What are you doing? Like, I think I got home at like I got to sleep at like 8 or 9 in the morning. Woke up at like 16:30. Like something like that. I'm gonna be at the thing at 21. So half an hour before it becomes 9, I have to go change to my uniform. The everyday uniform, thankfully. We don't have to actually wear our fire uniforms. Those would be way too hot. Like, oh god, there would be literal, like, saunas to wear. That might also be cool because let's be honest, look at the kids looking at a fireman's uniform. They'd be so excited. It would be so cute. I'm just checking this code a few times to check if I got Guardian Gun in there. But like, literally, like first thing I did when I come home, go find a pack of noodles, eat it, like prepare it and all sorts of stuff, and then go to my room with it. It's like I fall asleep after I've just eaten it. Like I was just like, okay, I'm getting food in me now, and then I'm going to fall asleep. I wasn't even really hungry at any point throughout yesterday because I had eaten 2 decently sized portions of dinner, which I would usually only eat 1. So already geared up and double the amount, which I normally do on those days because, well, normally we'd have to go studying there, which means I get home at like 23, so I'll be tired because maybe we have something where we have to move and stuff, like move different things, and like we have to, like, okay, now fast out into uniforms. But we have so many different things. For my body, like I eat so much beforehand because I know I'm gonna be hungry by the end anyways. Before we got there, we also bought some stuff at Burger King because, well, we were hungry. Oh well, my dad was hungry, I wasn't. I got a burger too because, well, I like crispy chicken. Although, stop making them so goddamn expensive. It's a crispy chicken. It used to be so inexpensive. It used to be one of your cheapest burgers. Now it's actually a sizable price. Although, for once, the food was actually there within the first 5 minutes of us ordering it. Usually we're sitting out there and just being like, what the fuck are you? This has been 15 minutes, where's the food? But usually we are also buying at the very end before they close. It's not my fault that for some reason they're just sitting and like, they just buy a beer upstairs normally and then they sit there drinking that 1 beer while playing a game. Slowly drinking it over like an hour. Me waiting, bored. Maybe drinking a soda. Depends. Like I was so bored. Like I was laying on the floor at some point to try and sleep a bit. Because we'd been awake to go to a family dinner earlier that day, so I did not have the freaking energy for this. This has to go. Yeah, of course, absolute perfect day for a family dinner, the day where 2 of the participants have to work a night shift. It's like I know it's supposed to be like for Easter, but like, do you have placed it like any of the days beforehand on Easter? Like, we'd be happy to come at any of those days. Like, what are you doing up there? It's a villager that has realized that this is going to be destroyed. And let's destroy some houses now. Not gonna hold long anyways, they're gonna be underwater. And I need them out of the way so I can actually build stuff there. Game! The thing is, I can't even light it on fire because all game-changing things like this will never become grass again. Unless I will literally do it. Like fire stuff too, because I will not allow anything out of my control to happen. It's very important to me on this one. Because I have everything under control. I can ensure everything looks right. Nothing can change, nothing can break. Everything is safe. Like, removing these things are important because they're gonna be in the way in the water later. And I do want to make everything look good. Let's just take down part of the ladder. Sir, you might want to go down. Why are you in the church tower, Mr. Toolshed? Good. You get put in there for some reason. That reminds me, there's like an urban legend in Denmark where it's like a woman literally put inside of a house, not a house, in a castle, and like the walls closed around her. I don't remember what she was accused of doing, but like she would literally she was just supposed to die behind this stuff. And now there's like an urban legend, like almost every school is supposed to be like where it is. Like almost every school are like, oh yeah, at this school this happened, or the school I went to, we didn't really be like, oh, it was at this school it happened. We would say like at the there was a more suitable building for something like that to happen, not that far away. So we'd say it out there, but then somehow still say that the ghost is haunting the school for some reason. So like she would literally like be called the White Lady, like pale as a ghost. So like just the kids being terrified anytime like a white curtain or stuff like moved ghostly. It's like, yeah, it's the ghost lady, run! There's no ghost lady. There was probably a historical event where that woman was actually put in there, but like how much blown out of proportion it was. Of like, ghost lady! Like that was. And let's be honest, it's just all of the older students just being like, hey, did you hear about the ghost lady? Yeah, she's gonna kill you in your sleep. Oh, why would this lady that was accused of something she didn't do this? Because she's angry. Because she was killed in such a gruesome way. It's like, okay. And when you're older, you're just like, oh, okay. But like when you're younger, it's like you're alone in the corridor of the school. And it's a corridor because we had one really long one, and then we had a few smaller ones. But like the long one was like the one that had the only staircase upwards to like a smaller area upwards. Like that was, I think one of the special classes was there for like students with some problems. But otherwise there wasn't really in use there. I think we were up there when we were, if like we had to ready for anything. Like the teachers used it like once or twice, I think. Other than the class that was actually assigned up there. But like I just remember just like being terrified walking by there, just like, hey, ghost lady gonna get me. That was kind of fun. Just the immediate fear of the school. Because some of the older students decided it would be fun to screw around with the younger students. Although, like if you're a younger student, you fucking deserve it. You guys are small rats sometimes. Like having to literally, at a school party, which I'm only there because it was one in my brother's class. When I was younger brothers, and it's like, I am literally standing guard of the physics room because you little rats are trying to get in here, and if you got in here, you'd light yourself on fire by accident. Get out of here. Like, you're not getting to fucking do that. It's like, get out. Who the fuck forgot to, like, lock the room? Like, who the fuck was stupid enough to not lock the physics rooms? Like, why? I didn't even see that as physics rooms, I just saw it as, like, room, we were almost never there. Like, the classes were so forgettable. Compared to when I then, like, changed school, where the physics classes were very easy to remember because, yeah, our teacher told us a story about him once lighting fire to himself because he tried to, like, experiment with, like, okay, let's show the kids what happens if you are stupid enough to put water on a oil fire, like food oil and stuff. Like, if you put water on a fire that's like that has food oil as the main thing, don't do it. Oil has to be so hot to actually burn. Like actually burning oil. Not cooking oil, but like burning. Butchercutcher flame has to be so hot that if you pour just a cup, like if you don't do this in real life, kids, search it up on YouTube. Let the other people do the experiment and you can just watch it. Don't do it yourself. For God's sake, don't do it yourself. Like just seeing, like as like at the firefighting stuff I'm at, we do it once in a while. Everybody is standing at a minimum of 4 meters away. Like the person who's standing 4 meters away is the person who's activating this. Like they have like literally like they put water in like a little cup contraption, which can be turned over and spill into the oil. The oil is already in. Then they light fire to the oil. Oh, there's fire underneath the oil. And then they wait until it's burning. As soon as the oil begins burning, they pull a metal chain, like a very thin metal chain. Not really very thin, but like a decently thin. I would say like a centimeter in like width of the chain, not each chain length. Like the links were like very thin. But like pull it, the cup of water spills into the oil. Oh well, it's like the cup is a metal cup that like tips and the water spills in. Little cup, like a little small of water. Like not even like a big cup. Like this cup, you would probably look at somebody and be like, "What the fuck is this?" If they gave it to you for drinking, like drinking water or stuff, like you'd just be like, "What is this? How am I supposed to get water from this?" Creating a fireball above it, that could fill an entire cars inside. Which is why, in case of a oil fire, turn off the heat underneath it if you can. And there I've tried to just like, any way to cool it that does not involve anything where it like chemically can expand in that way. Like do not, and I mean do not, use your typical stuff for it. I think when we are like training it, we show how to use a fire blanket. They showed us a video of it where it actually burned through the fire blanket. Because like, oh yeah, let's put the fire blanket over. Great, maybe you should take it off the heat too. Like not take it off the heat, but like maybe turn off the fire underneath that was supposed to like get the oil warm enough to actually burn. Just an idea, like just giving some ideas, like no? Okay. Like, it's gonna burn through the blanket if you don't actually take it off the heat. Like fire blankets can be burned through, they're just slow at it. Like stopping more heat from being added is kind of important. Like it doesn't matter how many blankets you put on top if you're not gonna stop it from getting hotter. Like it'll burn through, it's still burnable material. It's not as burnable as it prefers to use the air, like to breathe and stuff for the fire, but like it'll burn through to get to air. If you do mismatch stuff and like, you know, actually get it to that would be a great idea. Like just an idea here. Maybe no? You're gonna forget that? Okay. Your choice. I think it was one like our teachers once asked us like, okay, what's wrong with this video? And showed us that video. We were all like, he's not wearing the right gloves, or well, no, he was wearing gloves. Like, he's not standing correct. He's supposed to stand on the edge of the fire blanket to ensure that it can't get out of control. That like he has full control over it. It was like you're going to stand up and basically hug the fire. You're going to want full control over it. Like, who wants to not have full control over the fire you're about to go down and hug? Like, who's a psychopath enough to say yes to that one? Like you want control. But no, the problem was that they didn't turn off the fire. It's like, this wasn't the question, like, what did they do wrong? What did you do wrong about putting, like, the blanket on? Like, that's the question you asked. You didn't ask what's wrong, like, entirely. Like, it's just like, it isn't... Like, stop asking trick questions. Ask it as it is. right. Stop confusing us. We're easily confused. We were young. It's like our only information came from the teachers. But well, most of them, me and one of the other girls had other information through our dads, so because well, they were firefighters too, so it's like, hey, we have extra information. No more than all of you put together. Not of the teachers, but like, hey, like we as students know more. It's like, it's fun sometimes. Except for the fact that we were never allowed to do anything, me and that girl, because our dads were firefighters. Like, no, you know everything already. Like, go back and like let the others do something. It's like, it's fine to sometimes let the others do something, but like, so many times that we don't ever get to show off what we know. Okay, so I never get to show that I actually know anything. You just assume I know it because my dad's a firefighter. Oh well, volunteer firefighter. It's like, we should be expected to show off that we actually know something once in a while as well. Like, what if every time we put our hand up, aka every time that question was asked, what if we actually had it wrong? And why do you keep asking the same girl who doesn't want to answer the question what it is? She doesn't want to answer your fucking question. She is showing it quite clearly that she's uncomfortable. Like, she's literally hiding behind the rest of us to see if you guys will forget she exists and not ask it to her. Like, leave the poor girl alone. She doesn't want to answer the question. And there's multiple others that want to. But once in a while, like, yeah, ask her once in a while. She needs to answer once in a while. That's only fair. Like, you don't, like, she was specific. It was almost like she was outed to be the one that was asked every time. It's like, stop asking her every time. Yeah, she should, of course, like, once in a while ask her. Like, when's the last time you asked anybody else? Oh, never? Oh, I wouldn't have known. Oh wait, I would. That's not. Like, the rest of us just being desperate to finally getting to answer something, and her being asked constantly. It's like, I don't fault her, I fault the teacher. She didn't want to answer. You could see it on her face that she was like pleading, like, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me. Like, she was smiling awkwardly. Not in a like, oh, I actually got picked, I'm so happy. But in a, oh god, why are they doing this for me? Like, yeah, is it this one? Like, she was so, like, you could see it again. I was like, ask her once in a while, yeah. But you're only picking her. Fun fact, she was not one of the ones who actually went on to join the volunteer firefighters. She was probably scared off from it because you guys were putting so much pressure on her. Hey, you're not hollow. Fill out. Thank you. It's just like, it's so frustrating because like, she doesn't want to be picked. And you have multiple other students who wants to be picked. Pick somebody who wants to. Let's begin to plan how one of the trees are gonna look. Okay, so blocks we can use to make a cherry tree. First of all, let's start by gathering a lot of pinks. Of course, wool. And glass, of course. Oh, we need this one as well. We'll just spread out, we'll pick it up. Now let's make the color palette and make it look good. Like, I'm not just gonna put them out like this. I'm gonna do that in first, but like then I'm gonna redo everything. You see, this is not the natural progression of color. For example, this is the lightest color we have. Or maybe by this one. and this one. We're gonna go into this one. Maybe over into these ones. Which is very close to this one. And then we go over into the purples. I'd actually say I'd move these two. But this is a very reddish color. Like this is like this one might be white, but like let's be honest, it has like, if you just look at it compared to another white, it has a pinkish tint. And if that one at any point is behind pink, then it makes a beautiful color. So now when we put them in a more correct pattern, just checking somewhere else to look for it. Now we need like detailing plants. Like detailing that can like add the last bits. Some of this on the floor of the tree, and some of this up in the tree itself to make it more fitting. I don't like those, but oh, we have this block as well. Which these ones down here are the ones I would like certainly use. Like we can make two different ones. Look here, if we, this one obviously fits in between those two. So let's just move these ones. Let's put it in the right way. These are the color variants. Now if we look over here, I'll almost certainly use this one. I'll actually say like this one is the most common one to use. This one is also going to be used. This one will be used. This one will be used. This one will be used. And this one will be used. And I say this one isn't that bad. And by then this one comes in. And it's done. Like this is like color gradients. Closer. But up here, we have how likely I'm going to use them. Like that might be a more purplish one, but I really want to use it in it. And I actually think I disagree a slight bit here. I like this. I'm gonna do these week. These ones mix in once in a while. These ones will be interesting, but like they're not sure they'll add it into it. And then these ones is detailing. Now I don't have many like photos of cherry trees. So let's put out all the logs. And yes, I'm adding alien debris. Like look, it looks very like old bark, so like an old tree would fit with that one. So if I look up like a photo of a cherry tree. Fuck, I have a lot of Google tabs open right now. Most of them are in that, so I don't take credit for them. I don't know if you can see them though. Google will load. This one is from Google. And then if it will let me click. It's very slow right now, like if you think the game the game is slightly lagging, but this is like really slow. Japanese cherry tree is probably gonna search up for. Cherry blossom. Let's look at this photo. This is a photo of like an entire cherry grove. Like, glowing trees would be weird. We already knew this. With these, there's no chance of. When, like, the tree swamp is like a grayish brown. It's in a darker color. It's not this one. This one is still light as well. So, like, let's move these ones closer. I got a close-up photo of a cherry tree. What about this one? Yeah, this gives us a closer look. Well, it has many, like, back and forth. I don't think we're gonna use these two. If I were to pick between those two, this one feels dead. Like, it feels dead. So. I like the idea of having like a dark rich color. And I think this one feels more like an ancient, very old tree, but like each of the lines on this one seems like one of the up ones on this one. This one seems older. Let's use this for it, and then we'll use some to like once in a while add some like texture. Like, so it looks less one colored. If we just do this. Hey look, it's never in a row. Well, that looks good. Together with the pinks, it'll be beautiful. And more details I can capture from the cherry trees. Look very much to go like up and then like immediately just begin going out. Let's start off with what I usually do. Like all the other trees were made in a very simple way. Not by just completely redoing a tree every time. But we're using a little hack. It isn't really a hack, it's just tricking the game. If it still works, I hope it still works. 4 torches, a tree. I think 3 may also work in height, but I prefer 4. Oh, we got this one. This is the one we're working with. Let's then remove the leaves. Let's do it from the top. Careful not to hit any of the tree branches. But if we remove a layer at a time, we won't hit a branch. Because then we can see where the branches are and work them very masterfully. The more frames I have, the more randomly I'll just click. The more control I have. And here's our first stop. And the second one should be right down here. Yep. And we might actually see the first one over here. No, it's a tad further down. Or maybe how far down? Oh yeah, it's a tad further down than that. Let me do this. We have like a few minutes before I have to go. But like, that's fine. And then I won't be home until 7 in the morning. Which in my eyes is just torture. Like, my sleep schedule hates me right now. Let's start off by doing it into this. In the exact way it's already turned. We'll add more life into it later. Like, I haven't actually made a handmade tree in forever, and when I do, it's mostly like supposed to be like prim and proper, like pruned trees that like are specifically up in a like a way, like a garden that's supposed to look a specific way. It's kind of empty over here, so I'll have to look up something. I can actually do that while we're... Because I'm going to have to go in like no time at all by now. We've soon done an hour. By the time we hit an hour, that's when I'm gonna go. Like, if I also just really quick... grab my preferred palette. Like, always to upgrade this one. Like, I think there's like a command to do like random scattered. I'll look for that one. I'll test it in another world. But look how much more lively it already is. Not to mention if I actually did like... Like the wool would be a lot less. Like this would be a constant randomness of this. I think actually the place where I know to find a random brush is for world that is specifically, so I can't do it here. So I can make the trees in another world and then move them over block by block. And I am the kind of person to do that. Actually, I think I'll downgrade you. Like, yeah, that looks better. Like, it's just too clear of a difference. I think that one might work well in a red tree, which I'm also gonna do a few of. Like a red palette is way more extensive. I would love to use these ones too, but it'll fall down. So we also have stuff for a red tree. Which would be with this one at the end. This one at the start. This one. This one. And that's a red palette. Which has a pink in it, but it fits much more in there than it does over there. Like there you can fit it out a bit more. Oh, I wish I could use these ones. These are beautiful. Like, I might use them on the floor to like simulate fallen ones. Like, look at how beautiful these are. Like the wooden trees look weird, but like this looks beautiful. And it's such like much less of a sudden change. Like look at how close they are. They're further away from there. Let's actually do it like this. Oh, come on. Yeah, I have to keep it color coordinated first. Like look at those four specifically. Like glass, fairy powder, this one, this one. They're perfect together. Now maybe this one and this one in an area that's like shadowed and further in. That'd be beautiful. Anyway, guys, we have to end off stream for today. I have like half an hour to change, find the last things I need, be ready. And I want to be able to breathe too. And I need to set this thing to upload and stuff. So I hope you have a good day, night, evening, morning, whenever, wherever you're in the world. And bye bye! I have to go get ready for like. Wait, what's this? Oh wait. Oh, he was in general. Sorry, bye, Guardian. Bye. Bye, stream.